How's it going, everyone? Shifty here, and today I'm back with another Legend Lost Sector guide. In this one, I'm going to be doing an easy guide for the K1 Logistics Legend Lost Sector. Now, I do want to mention that the Moon Lost sectors are not the fastest ones to farm. I'm going to be showing a full run on all three classes in this one. Before I get into my loadouts for each class, if you end up enjoying this video, remember to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, so for my Warlock run, I went with Chaos Reach and Geomag Stabilizers. Then for my weapons, I have a kinetic hand cannon. In this one, I'm using the Survivor's Epitaph, but any hand cannon should work here. Then I have the Pleiades Corrector Solar Scout Rifle. And for my heavy, I have the Deathbringer Void Rocket Launcher. This does get a 50% damage boost in this Legend Lost sector. And here are the armor mods for my Warlock. If you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comment section down below. Then for my Titan run, I went with Thunder Crash, and if you do have it, you can use Cuirass of the Falling Star. In this run, I did it without it, so I can demonstrate using Thunder Crash without that bonus damage. Then for my weapons, I again have the Survivor's Epitaph and the Pleiades Corrector, but for this run, I swapped out Deathbringer for Two-Tailed Fox. And here are the armor mods that I used on my Titan. And finally, for my Hunter, I went with Bottom Tree Night Stalker with Orpheus Rig. Then for my weapons here, I again have the Kinetic Hand Cannon Survivor's Epitaph. This time I went with the Eternal Blazon Arc Scout Rifle. And just like my Warlock run, I'm using the Deathbringer. The armor mods on my Hunter should look familiar, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. If you need to see any of them in more detail, just pause the video. Anyway, that is it for the loadouts that I used in this video. If you want to skip ahead, there will be timestamps for each run. Now, let's get into it. You're going to want to destroy some of those mines so they don't blow up as you walk by them. Then you're going to have a couple of these invisible marauders to deal with. And as you may have noticed, off to the right there's a captain. So I'm going to toss a grenade over there in hopes to get it on it and break its shield. I broke the shield and was successfully able to take it out. Most of the enemies off to the right should be taken care of, so I'm going to go for the barrier champion next. Sundering Blast took care of a lot of the enemies surrounding that barrier champion. And I know void damage is boosted by 50% in this lost sector, but I brought a solar scout rifle to deal with the solar shields on the Shanks. As I push forward, there's going to be exploding Shanks that spawn and push this area. You can take most of them out from a distance. And then there should be a couple of Vandals that kind of push your way as well. Alright, next up I'm going to shoot a Deathbringer shot right over this barrier champion. I didn't hit it once because it went off to the left. It's going to continue to do that, so I'm going to shoot it higher. That's a good example of wasting your heavy ammo. But if you get a good Deathbringer shot on it, you don't even have to worry about taking out its barrier. Hopefully I get some more heavy ammo before the boss arena. Now we are going to have an Overload champion to deal with. See if I can take care of some of these dregs first. Doesn't look like that's the case, so I'll stun the Overload. With the Overloads, I shoot a Deathbringer shot right at it after it's stunned, and then that should pretty much take care of it. Couple of wretches to deal with in this hallway. Alright, there should be a couple wretches around the corner here. And after this, there's going to be a bunch of enemies that spawn, including a barrier champion off to the right. Going to push right in front of you, and I'm just going to use a Deathbringer shot on it. I was able to take care of it before it even barriered again. So there's a bunch of enemies that spawn in the back. I'm actually going to use a Deathbringer shot over there as well. And I'm going to push a little forward here, grab this heavy ammo. Then off to the right here. Use this as cover. From Deathbringer this nightmare. And then I have to clear the area a little bit as well. There are some enemies off to the right. I'm going to shoot a Deathbringer shot over there. And there are a couple of enemies right by the boss as well. I'm also going to Deathbringer those. And I might as well Deathbringer the boss once, and then I'm going to super it. Boss should be off to my left. And when the boss is down, you can go straight for the chest. And there we are. Platinum completion of the K1 Logistics Legend Lost Sector. Now, if you feel more comfortable, you may want to clear out some of the enemies in the area first instead of trying to go right for the boss kill and the chest. Feel free to do whatever you're more comfortable doing. Alright, again, right at the beginning here, you're going to want to destroy these mines. I almost took myself out this time. See if I can get my grenade over there. Alright, so for this run, I'm not using Deathbringer, but instead I have Two-Tailed Fox. And that took out several of the enemies around that servitor. I didn't quite take the captain out earlier, but I was waiting for my grenade. And now I don't have that, so I'm going to have to melee. There we go. Now I can proceed. The exploding shank should come out any second now. And time to move on to the barrier champion. That is, if I can hit it. Next up, the Overload Captain. Use the Sundering Blast there to take out some of the enemies around it. And off to the tunnel we go. And next up, these few wretches around the corner. So using two-tailed fox isn't too much different than Deathbringer. Figured I'd use one heavy shot to take out all the enemies in the distance over there, or most of the enemies. Now I'm going to head over here and use my barricade for a little extra cover. I was also able to snag a little extra heavy ammo. I'm going to fire a rocket at the group of ads over there, as well as right in front of me. I'm going to head back to the front of the room after my Titan super. And fire a rocket at any groups of ads that I see. When I get a sight line on the boss, I'll fire a rocket there. And it should be off to the right now. And I'm going to fire some rockets over there as well, and then I'm going to head for the chest. Again, if you do not feel safe just rushing for the chest with a bunch of enemies left, feel free to take them out first. And there we have it, a platinum completion on the Titan. Now I'm going to show you the same thing on a hunter. Alright, here we are back on a hunter now. Again, there's going to be these marauders right here at the beginning. I'm on a hunter, and you may notice I'm using a void subclass and an arc scout rifle this time. That's because I'm using bottom tree night stalker to do more damage to the boss. And in order to take out these captain's shields, I'm going to need some form of arc damage. Captain's being a little bit tricky right now, so I'm going to focus on this barrier champion. Not sure why Sundering Blast didn't activate there, but it worked out, so. So in order to deal with the solar shield, I'm going to have to use my heavy. Took out one of the tracer shanks. But I have two more to deal with. And I still have one more yet. And that's all I have to worry about for solar shields. Hopefully I find some more heavy ammo to make up for using a lot of it doing that. Next up is this barrier champion. And that overload pushed out a little bit further than I'm used to, so I just decided to take it out right then and there. Thunder and Blast should do work here. There we go. And there are just a few wretches right around the corner. Make sure I'm ready for this barrier champion. I took it out almost immediately. That was perfect. I'm going to spam a few shots at some of these groups of enemies to clear the area. See if I can get that nightmare back there. And there's a few shanks right by the boss. I'm going to try to take them out next. And then there's a group of enemies off to the left as well. And now the boss is up. So I'm going to super it. My super is gone. I'm going to continue to use any heavy that I have, and then after that I'm going to use up grenades and anything like that. And now that the boss is down, I can comfortably go invisible on a hunter and head straight for the chest. And there we have it, my easy guide for completing the K1 Logistics Legend Lost Sector. Now the moon ones in general are not the fastest to farm, but if you want to get them completed, I hope that this helped, and if it did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.